So SummerSlam ends, and Nexus kind of starts breaking up a little bit, right?
Yeah, it was like a little turf, and then CM Punk like kind of took over for a little while, and then they split the fact because we were shooting Mondays Raw, and then Fridays or SmackDown, so we had to do both TV shows. So they wanted to split the group up, so we had Punk as our one leader, and then so we half of us were on Raw, and then half on SmackDown, and then we switched over, and then we came together again, and then it turned into the core eventually, four of us, and we recruited Zeke. Um, and, but yeah, it was such a blur. A lot happened so quickly doing that, because in wrestling we have a whole year to tell a story up to Mania, right? And this didn't even make it there, so a lot of things like changed every week. So we were just kind of like going with it.
Who in the office was as an ally of yours at this time?
Um, Johnny Ace. Um, Turns out he's both his brothers work too.
Sure.
Yeah, so I guess my dad used to book his brothers all the time. So I mean, he didn't. Only when I got there, he was like, "Oh yeah, you're Paul's kid," and so he always batted for me, and everyone really like Dusty loved me. Steve Kerr, everyone from FCW, like who knew me, who worked with me all the time. They always told people in the office like this is a good kid, or this is like watch out for this guy's attitude. But like like, people always had good things to say about me because I didn't have an attitude. I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to wrestle. Like I was just like I probably should have like stood up for myself or have like a stronger character backstage, but I didn't care about any of that stuff. I was just like, leave me out of that stuff. I just want to have a good match.
You mentioned earlier Bray Wyatt. What can you tell me about the man Bray Wyatt?
Oh wow, so many things. Like I remember getting to the US and it was Halloween, and he had a party at his house, and that's where I really, really got to see all the guys like outside of the wrestling ring. And we just been friends since day one. He took me to my first football game. He took me to a Gators game. He took me to my first hockey game. Gave me my first Jägermeister to drink. Like years later when he did the Bray Wyatt character, I don't know if you saw that Dr. Black character was doing the shaman thing. He helped me out a lot with that stuff. We really wanted to do something together and push that forward, but that unfortunately didn't happen. But just an amazing, amazing human being. Like I love him so much.
You mentioned CM Punk earlier too. How'd you get along with Punk?
I was probably like one of the few guys that I mean he doesn't. I don't know what politically correct is here, but like he did, there's not a lot of people who like him. I mean, it's not his fault. That's just that his personality, it doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Um, I forgot what it was, but like we were backstage and before WWE, when I was working in the gym, I was a nutritionist, and I gave him some advice once, and he was like, huh, okay. And then I was one of the few guys that he was never mean to, or like try to like haze or whatever. So I wouldn't say we were friends or anything like that, but he was one of the guys that he'd shake my hand first, like, so.
How were the rest of the boys to the Nexus when they first started getting their push? Anyone a little pissed off?
Yeah, and in the beginning a little bit because like our first few shows they flew us first class and everyone was sitting in the back and like so that but I think they did that on purpose and like we got a little bit of heat here and there, and it was a lot of it was just manufactured too because I feel like they wanted us to just kind of be pissed off rookies, like first like 3 weeks we changed in these broom closets, we weren't even allowed in the locker room.
Really?
So I don't know if a lot of that heat was like real or just manufactured. To me, it was just like part of the show, right? It's just like this is how you're gonna turn these boys into men. But who knows? I don't know. Like I never really heard of anyone. I mean, there were a couple of guys like I'm not going to mention any names, but when if they had to work the top guys and if they got hurt or something like that, they'd always have a bad connotation about that person always. So like there was some minor heats or some scuffles here back, but nothing too serious. You know how the game goes.
It's got to be easier to get heat when there's seven of you, though. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
oh, and we all
At least,
stood up
at least,
together too.
yeah.
Yeah, even when we went back down to FCW, like we were like they sent us back there after the reality show, and then once we started the Nexus thing, we're like, wait a minute. So we all seven went into the office. And we're like, hey, we're done with the developmental. So, stuff like that was awesome.
Nice, nice. So okay, so there's Darren Young. There was oh gosh, Wade Barrett. There was Skip Sheffield, Heath Slater, David Otunga, and Mike
And
Tarver.
Tarver and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Ryan. What was up, Mike Tarver? Whatever happened to him? You don't hear much. You don't know anything about him.
No, he doesn't work at all. I mean, at the time he was already much older than all of us. So he's working in Florida. He does a lot of good stuff for the community. He works with kids, like kids who had rough upbringings, because that's the same kind of path that he went. And he does a lot of Christian rap music. He actually did my entrance song. I don't know if you've ever heard my entrance song. That's him.
Oh, wow. Any good Daniel Bryan stories?
Uh, Nothing good. I mean, just had some amazing matches at random places and I don't know if he was working everybody, but his memory, he never remembers anything, right? I was like, hey, we had that match last week. He's like, we'll just do something similar or do that finish. And he's like, huh? Stuff like that. And I remember traveling on the road before he got kicked off, like we all drove in this little van together. We stopped at his mom's place and his mom made us all chicken breast and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. I mean, he's an interesting guy. He really just came out of his shell once he after that show happened. Like when we brought him back at SummerSlam, that's when he really kicked off. And we didn't really have that much interaction. Just like just some memories of matches. He always gave me him and Seth always gave me shit for like doing craziest stuff outside of the ring than inside of the ring. They're like, why? It's like, why would you skydive? Why would you jump off a building? Like, why would you do all these things? Uh, who was that? Oh, what's his name? What's his name? He used to say that to me all the time. Arn Anderson. He used to be like, he used to call me Wolfie. He'd be like, Wolfie, why would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane? And eventually I just said to him, Arn, because the door was open. And then he just popped and left it.
Do you remember the WCW ring announcer? I don't know if you got WCW in South Africa. Remember Gary Capetta?
Yes.
So Gary's a good friend of mine. He lived like 10 minutes from me. And
Okay.
one night, this had to be, I don't know, maybe 2000. He told me that Bryan Danielson, before anyone ever heard of him, he was the American Dragon on the Indies, and a wrestler by the name of John Walters were coming to his house for dinner. Come on over. So I got to meet Bryan Danielson. We talked the entire meal. PJ, the entire meal. I had two thoughts in my head. Number one, this is the nicest, sweetest person who has so much love and passion for wrestling. And number two, it's a shame he's never going to make it. You know what I mean? Because I mean,
Fooled us.
he was like 160 pounds. He
Mhm.
looked like he was 12. This was before the beard. You know what I mean? It was 2000. Man, was I wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no,
He
I've
looked
had a couple of those too. Like usually I can call it like, from the first day I see somebody, I'm usually correct, but there's one or two that I was like, oh, I never saw that one coming, which is awesome. Like I love that.
Do you want to give any of your social media out?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Instagram is PJ450. I haven't been active there lately, but I mean, I do check the messages and stuff like that. And then Twitter, which is X now, Darewolf333.